Welcome to the Swirl Suite, everybody. On this episode, we do a little catching up and we taste and talk through two fantastic California sparkling wines. If you like to skip our catch up, it ends about the 1813 timestamp. And let us know what California sparkling wines you like. Cheers.
I feel like I have been on roller skates and going downhill. How are you doing?
I'm all right. Not too bad. I've been wanting to ask you how the tours have been.
Girl, I am very blessed. We have been booked every weekend.
People are ready to be out. I love it.
Girl, yes. But yes, I'm super blessed. They are booked. And we are still practicing COVID procedures.
Sure.
And what people don't realize, in Maryland, Virginia is operating differently.
Mm-hmm.
Maryland, there's still a limit to how many people can be at a table.
Okay, yeah.
So it's 6 people. So we will do the maximum of 8 people on a tour.
Okay.
Because I don't think what people realize is, the van is a nice size van, but it's still a van.
Yeah.
And you may or may not have been tested or what have you. We still require you to wear a mask. And we have an air filter in there to filter the air. But it's still close, right?
Yeah.
And if you're sitting, we have the drop-in tours. So you're sitting next to someone you don't know.
Mm-hmm.
Right, that's still close.
Yeah, it is close. Yeah.
It's still close. So we're limiting the tours to 8 people.
Okay.
But like you said, people want to get out.
Yeah.
People have, reached out and said, I got a group of 15. I got a group of 20.
Oof. Slow down, y'all. Slow down.
Right. And we can't accommodate that. Now I know that there are limo companies that are still taking people on buses, but it depends on which winery you roll up on.
Mm-hmm.
Some vineyards strictly say, even with like our 8, where we'll say we'll put 4 people at one table.
Mm-hmm.
Some vineyards are like, no, the 6, and that's it. We're not breaking up groups. Other vineyards will say, okay, you can bring your bus, but we're putting you all at 6 tables.
Yeah.
So, technically they're following the rules. They're not. But again, the numbers aren't going down in Maryland.
Yeah.
Even though people are getting vaccinated. So we're just airing. But we have been booked. And so I've been telling people, if you wake up today and decide you want to do a wine, you need to book it today.
Yeah.
Don't wait around. Don't wait till your friends get their money right. leave them at home. The thing that amazes me about this whole COVID thing is the numbers that we have now are comparable to when we shut down back in March.
Right.
Here, where nothing was happening. And now people, I don't know if you noticed, guys, that the traffic is just ridiculous. Like there's
insane
hour traffic.
Yep.
And they act like it's this thing is really over and it doesn't exist. But people are still being affected by it and not surviving it. So
yeah. Have you guys been vaccinated?
Yep. I get my second one tomorrow.
Wow, which version?
Pfizer.
Pfizer. Okay, cool.
Yeah. How did you feel after yours, Glennis?
Actually, it was crazy. So I got up that morning because I got mine done in New Jersey.
Okay.
And so I got up that morning from Maryland about 1:30 a.m. that Friday morning. I was on the road by 2:30 a.m. Got the shot by 8:09 a.m. and went to dinner and my next door neighbor who has already been vaccinated, and we just stayed up over her house, just cutting up. So I was literally up 24 hours. And so I couldn't tell whether the fatigue was for being up 24 hours or whether it was from the shot.
Okay.
But the only other thing was my arm. That's no joke about that arm piece.
Yeah.
My arm was like, okay, pick it up and pull it over to the side when I roll over in the bed. It was just sore. But other than that, I didn't have any other symptoms or any other issues. So
I did.
You did? How'd it feel?
I thought I was gonna die.
So
on my second shot that day, I had this horrible headache, and it was warm outside, so I thought it was hay fever. And then I realized, I was like, no, this is the shot. Like, this is So I just went to bed because I don't like taking something. And so then the morning, I woke up with a low-grade fever and chills.
Oh my goodness.
And I was like, the devil is a liar. I don't have time for this today. So I took some Aleve, and within 45 minutes, I felt normal.
Okay.
But I definitely had the symptoms. So if you Aleve worked, like, just
Did you get Pfizer or Moderna?
Pfizer.
Well, it was interesting because my allergist told me, and I don't know, this was probably why I didn't have any severe symptoms, but he told my mother and I, take, before your shots, take 2 Pepcid ACs and a Zyzal, which is a strong antihistamine. And it just worked beautifully. I literally, I did it like at 7:00 before both shots, because both shots are like at 8. And I didn't have any symptoms. And I didn't take the painkiller because I was like, this is just some bull. It ain't really. I took that painkiller Saturday night. I was like, or Sunday morning, early Sunday morning, just to stop my arm from hurting. But the antihistamine and the Pepcid, which is phenamide, is what is the active ingredient in Pepcid AC, and it's like part of the cocktail that they gave the orange man. So it's an ACE2 inhibitor, so it inhibits your body from overreacting to foreign entities that your body's starting to think it's recognizing as something that it should get rid of. And that's why it's called an antihistamine, because the histamines is what builds up in the system that causes the sneezing in the eyes and things like that. So I keep Pepcid AC. If I'm going to be around a crowd, even with my mask, if I think I'll be around a crowd, I'll take a Pepcid AC just because.
Okay.
That's a
wow. When I started breaking out in hives back, when I told y'all back then, my primary care physician had told me, besides, either the Zyrtex or the Claritin or Benadryl, she said, I want whichever one of those that you take a Pepcid AC. I said, I didn't tell you I had an upset stomach. And that's when she explained to me what it did. I was like, oh, that makes sense. So when this thing first broke out, you couldn't find Pepcid AC on the shelf. You couldn't find it on the shelf because doctor offices were starting to get it and things of that nature. So I keep some in the house,
That is interesting.
Very.
Well, I want to give a shout out to First Baptist of Glen Arden, because that's where I went to get my both shots, and that was like military precision.
My mom got hers there. She said the same thing.
Yep. I was just so impressed. There was no waiting around. They moved you from station to station very quickly. Check to make sure you had an appointment. They wouldn't let you like in the building without. I was very impressed with.
Same thing with Jersey. It was military precision too. And what was interesting, it was at the Meadowlands, and they had but under the supervision of the doctors and nurses came out of the Hackensack medical system. So they had Hackensack hospital doctors and nurses on staff. And they had the Army National Guard that was, doing the crowd control and doing the first three checks of whether it was your time for the appointment and ID checks into what station, the initial station. Then the Meadowlands hired staff started, with the other piece of the process before you got to the doctors and nurses. So it was just like boom, 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 literally in line, out of line, shot, all within no less than 30 minutes. And you have to wait 15 minutes before they let you go. So
yeah. I wish my experience was like that. I mean, it wasn't terrible, but I mean, I got mine from CVS. It's not too far from here. And I was going to go right before my appointment because they're very app savvy. They send you a text when you're supposed to go. They tell you when to enter the store. But when you enter the store, you have to wait in a line. So, and I didn't realize that. Alan told me, he was like, no, you need to leave like an hour earlier because Lord knows how long it's going to take you to get through all of that. So I was like, okay, yeah, you're right. So I was in line for probably 30 minutes and then they called us back and it was fine. I mean, it was pretty smooth, but it was nothing like you guys experienced.
Wow.
Yeah.
I was in Baltimore one Saturday and I was driving by the convention center and people were in line. I was like, what's going on in the center? And the people were in line 2 blocks deep. Well, when I pulled into Baltimore, crazy. There was traffic on Russell Street. You know how you come in by the stadium? And I was like, this is a Saturday. Why is there traffic? And it was traffic to get into Raven Stadium where they were doing. And then when I drove past the convention center, which is probably another place where they are offering the vaccine, the line was like 2.5 blocks long.
It's interesting because this weekend, yesterday, I drove down to Virginia because we call it, she was an older woman, like my cousin, drove down to pay our last respects because the funeral was this Thursday and we knew, my other cousins knew we would be able to go.
Right.
And come to find out, she had COVID last month. 2 months ago, and literally recovered, but she had to because of being vented, had to, learn how to re-walk, everything, almost to the point where you're coming out of a coma, and you have to learn all your motor, occupational therapy skills. Let me say that, getting dressed and all that. But because of, the strain on the soft tissue organs that COVID causes, she, was on blood pressure medicines and actually took her blood pressure medicine. And once you take blood pressure medicines, you shouldn't lay down right away. You should, sit up. And she laid down and her blood pressure dropped too low and her heart couldn't get the blood to where it needed to be. So she went to cardiac arrest. So yeah. So we did a round robin yesterday. Left here about 7:00 in the morning. Picked up all my, about 3 of my cousins because it was 4 of us in my car, but everybody's vaccinated, and just went and saw the family and came back. So I'm just telling, if we don't do anything else with this podcast right now, you have to tell people that this thing is real. And yes, you can get it regardless of color, creed, whatever,
exactly.
And I'm so sick of the bullshit on the news. We are more susceptible because of this. Everybody is susceptible. Stop making one group of people more susceptible than any other thing first. And then second, I told my other cousin, because we called her while we were going down, and she was like, well, I'm still a little nervous. So I said to her, so your husband got vaccinated, you haven't. Okay. I said, do you take Advil? She's like, yeah, girl, if I can have it, I take Advil. I said, you had a beer the other night? Yeah, girl. I said, well, you don't know what's in that shit neither. Go get the damn shot and stop tripping.
Yeah. Tanisha, how is it in Paris? Have y'all been vaccinated?
Oh, girl, nobody vaccinated here. It is still for just the elderly. Right now, it's 55 and older. That are only eligible to get vaccinated, or unless you have like a serious pre-existing condition or something like that. So those are the people who are getting vaccinated now. It was going very, very slow at first. It has now started to pick up a little bit as far as them doing it a little bit faster. There isn't an actual plan, or they don't really have set dates. Like maybe it'll be open for other people mid-May. And it'll be open like 30 and up, I guess. I don't know what the next round of people is, but people are up in arms today because the EU announced that they were letting American tourists come over this summer.
Oh gosh.
So that was the big announcement.
With what restrictions? Do they have to be vaccinated and tested?
Yeah, they have to show their vaccination cards or whatever.
That's still fucked up because we can still get it and pass it to y'all, and y'all are not vaccinated.
Right. And that's what we're saying here. We're also like, you worried about opening up for tourism, but we still have a 7:00 curfew. Like, work on that.
Nah.
Like, bars and restaurants are still closed. The museums and cultural centers and gyms and theaters are still closed. So why is y'all worried about tourism?
Wow.
I mean, I get it. Y'all need
the
money.
Yeah.
I get it. But like, money for what? Like, figure out what they're going to come here to do. People are not going to fly over here and the Eiffel Tower closed and there's nowhere to eat.
Especially if y'all if y'all rules are loose and they don't have to wear a mask, they gonna go there and say, do you have to wear a mask?
You gotta wear a mask here. No, they serious about the mask though. You gotta wear a mask here. No, because they will walk up to you and be like, excuse me, pull your mask up. Excuse me, where's your mask? Excuse me, where? Tighten up, sir. It's like, oh, okay. But yeah, so that's our vaccine situation. I mean, I don't have a vaccine. I haven't been vaccinated. We'll see what happens when they open it up. I mean, I still want to be first in line just because I don't feel like dealing with the hassle of it all. Like, I know it's not going to be organized. And I'm not waiting in line 5 hours to get a vaccine. I'm sorry. There's just that. If you can't get me in and out in 30 minutes or less, like, I'm away.
Yeah.
So.
Well, it's such a shame too when you hear on the news that a certain percentage of the vaccine is being wasted because people aren't showing up, making more appointments, and then there's places in the world
that need it.
Like they which is crazy.
Yeah, and they also had a problem here where they were noticing that people weren't going back for their second shot.
Same issue here.
Yeah.
Like, people make the first appointment, and then for the second one, they're like, nah, I ain't even gonna go do it. And so that's been like a whole thing. So I'm like, all right, well.
Yeah, I don't know how it is in other states, but they are trying to give it out now to everybody. Everybody's eligible now.
Yeah.
So
they have a list so that you can sign up for. Or some people just go and wait outside some of the vaccination centers.
Yeah.
Because if they don't use them, that, people don't show up for their appointment, they have leftover ones, then they can, possibly get one. I'm like, I'm not doing that. Like, I want the vaccine, but I'm not just randomly going and stand outside. I mean, it's not like it's, I don't know, championship Bulls tickets. Like, I'm not waiting. But, like, I'm not doing this. No.
Today, our featured topic is California sparkling wine. We chose 2 from the samples that we received from 2 different producers, Sea Smoke and Decoy. Established in 1985, Decoy is recognized for producing attractively priced wines from exceptional vineyard sources. Decoy's winemaking program is guided by acclaimed winemaker Dana Epperson, who is an expert at working with multiple grape varieties across multiple regions. The Decoy lineup includes a red blend, Cabernet Sauvignon, Merlot, Zinfandel, Pinot Noir, Chardonnay, and Sauvignon Blanc, as well as a Rosé and a Brut Cuvée. For years, vintners have coveted a stretch of land in the western end of Santa Barbara's Santa Rita Hills AVA, known to have the perfect microclimate, soils, and exposure to grow world-class Pinot Noir. In 1999, fulfilling a long-held dream of owner Bob Davids, this sought-after stretch of land became Sea Smoke Vineyard. At Sea Smoke, their objective is to produce the best Pinot Noir possible from their unique vineyard site. The heat generated during the day is moderated each evening by marine fog layer, aka sea smoke, which travels up the Santa Ynez River canyon, cooling the vines and resulting in a longer ripening period. This extended hang time allows the grape tannins to fully ripen prior to harvest, creating wines that are rich and supple. No,
Tanisha, are you able to get somebody has asked you this before, so please forgive me, but able to get American wine there?
Like stuff y'all send, or me just go find American wine at the store?
I'm quite sure you can't find like specifically what we're always tasting, but
no,
just American wine in general.
It exists. I have to go to specific places and search, and it's not the stuff I want to drink or pay for. Like, I'm not doing all that work. Like, I'm not passing 17 other shops with perfectly fine wine.
Yeah.
To get a bottle of Kendall Jackson.
Oof. Not that one.
Or Francis Ford Coppola, I'll see that a lot at the store. Or Hampton Water. They have that now since it's
okay. So there are a long list of California producers that produce great bubbles. Some of them are great and some of them are not so great. And it's crazy how some of the cheaper ones have the word California champagne on their bottles.
So the reason they do that and why they can legally do that, it's a couple reasons. One, they put the word California in front of it, so it's fine. Mm-hmm. Two, California is actually one of the only places that probably has enough money to go up against Champagne legally to argue with them and fight back. But there's also another reason. They're like, well, this is America and we don't have to follow those French rules that y'all have for Champagne or European rules, so we don't have to do that. Mm-hmm. But then it's also said that they were grandfathered into some rule that they're able to say, oh, well, if we put California in it, it's fine because it is champagne made in the California way. So it's not confused with champagne.
Yeah, and what you just mentioned, I read that goes all the way back to World War II.
Mm-hmm. I thought it was limited to very specific brands that could do that. Like, if I had opened, if I had a vineyard, what have you, I could do it. I thought based on whatever suit that had happened, that there were only certain brands and within their brands that could do it.
There's specifically Andre, Corbel, and Cooks.
Mm-hmm.
You talk about a headache in the morning.
Yes, Lord.
Those are mimosa champagnes.
Ooh,
those are the ones you mimosa. When people be like, "Oh, let's mimosa this Tatange," I'm like, "You sound ridiculous."
I will still get a headache. I will still get a headache.
Yeah, I agree, Sarita. I still get a headache.
Grab you some Andre and mix it up with some premium juice.
Wow, you trying to kill us?
There you go. Liver
that is a note to people. Please do not use your best bubbles to make mimosa. Please.
Exactly. Yeah. Exactly.
Not the best, but not the worst like that. I don't know. Somewhere in the middle.
Right.
Right. Somewhere in the middle, please.
So Tanisha, go ahead. Tanisha, what is the biggest difference between California bubbles and French bubbles?
Like, they can still be made in the same method as champagne. And if they're made in the same method, then they have to use the same grapes. But those grapes will essentially taste a little bit different.
Yeah.
Just because of how they're grown, because Pinot Noir from California tastes completely different than Pinot Noir from Burgundy. Some of that you can't taste as much since it has to go through the second fermentation. But the process and the grapes are the same.
So the one thing, not talking about the differences between California and France, but I was having this conversation the other day about the different styles of sparkling.
Mm-hmm.
And, extra dry, brut, extra brut. And so, extra dry. And I was saying, really extra dry is is off dry, basically. Mm-hmm. And someone tried to correct me, or they said, oh, you can't refer to it as off dry. I was like, well, it is, it's not, it really isn't dry. It's, it's sweet. And so the correction, this is where the correction came in, is that when you use the term of off dry, it's referring to a still wine, and you shouldn't use that same terminology for a sparkling.
Oh, wow.
And so my question to you guys, have you heard that before, that the terminology is not interchangeable?
It's new to me.
That doesn't even make any sense. What do you mean the terminology isn't interchangeable? Like, it is literally a word. You can use it however you want. Like, it's a word. Right. And you use the words that people understand. So to say, oh, these words are interchangeable. What? No, it's not like you're saying, it's not like you calling it something else and saying like, oh, this is off dry, but then now you make up some new, name. No.
And I wonder to that person who said that to you, who told you to define it in a way that it can't be used? I mean, where did you get that information from?
So what I was told is that you should refer to the dosage and not using, because you don't use dosage terminology for still wine.
Still wines.
That's so I'm not, I don't claim to be a sparkling expert, but that was the first time I had ever heard something like that. After the conversation pretty much ended, we both agreed that off dry is semi-sweet. So it's just, I'm like, well, we got to the same conclusion. It's just how you refer to it was the issue.
And it's just how this person wanted to seem like they knew something more than you did, or try to correct you, or make you feel as though, oh, wait, I didn't really know this.
Did this person work at a winery?
No, but they are in the industry.
Okay, gotcha.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's interesting.
Mm-hmm.
It's typical. It's always somebody that's like, no, actually, you should use this other term. Who's to tell you what words you can and can't use? You use the words that people understand. This is the problem with wine, and I'm doing the air quotes, professionals, and why a lot of people don't like talking to them and don't like, and don't understand wine and just like, forget it. I'm not even gonna mess with it. Because people are using, oh, you can only use this one specific word. No, you use the words that you understand. You use the words that make sense to you. What if I don't want to use dosage at all and I want to give it a whole different term myself? Like, okay, this is cotton candy, this is ripe melon, and this is, this is now and later sweet. And this, I can do that because if that's what people understand, then that's what people understand. You use the words that help people.
Yeah.
All of this is set up so people can buy champagne, so they know what they're buying, whether it's champagne, sparkling wine, whatever. That's what these terms and things are for. So let them use the terms, and you use the terms to teach them, to talk to them, whatever that makes sense to them.
Exactly. Because how many people have actually tasted cat pee? I can't stand that descriptor. I'm not using that descriptor.
Or even the new one, gooseberry. I'm like, I don't know gooseberry either. So good luck. I don't. They're like, no, but now we've changed it to gooseberry. I'm like, okay, so gooseberries taste like cat pee? I don't know what either.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
Exactly. Perfect.
I don't even know what cat pee smells like. So
me either, because I don't have a damn cat.
I'm like, I'm not familiar with that.
Right.
I've never had a cat.
Exactly.
Oh gosh.
So there's that.
Well.
And it just all boils down to, like Tanisha said, it all boils down to it's whatever you're able to recall. What have you experienced to be able to say, oh, this is what this reminds me of when you're doing a tasting profile?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It because like you said, my green beans don't taste like what you find in some of these. My green beans is smoked. So you ain't gonna find that in no Sauvignon Blanc.
No, you're not.
So it's how you recall.
Oh, girl, everybody know this green beans and Sauvignon Blanc are from a can. So you already don't know what that smell like in your house.
Exactly.
And this is when Shakira made a good point when she was on the show. She was just like, this is why people from all walks of life, from all neighborhoods, from all colors should be able to express themselves through wine, because their palates are going to be different. Their noses are going to be different. Their references to certain things is going to be totally different. And that's how you learn.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Agree 100%.
Yeah, some of the wine terms they use, I'm like, what? I don't know what that is. I don't know where that is. I've told y'all this story before, but we're on a podcast. I'll say it again. When I took my first WSET class, the guy was, asking everybody, oh, what flavors do you get? And people yelling all this stuff out. I was new, so I was like, well, I'm thinking in my head, like, I smell grapes, but all right, y'all, go on, go for it. And he's like, you know what I really get from this? And he did this big production with swirling and smell. He said, this smells like that underbrush on the floor of the Brazilian rainforest.
What?
Like
who's been there?
My dude, what? The floor of the underbrush on the floor of the Brazilian rainforest. I'm looking around like, how many people in here been to Brazil? One.
And how many people been into the Amazon and been to the floor of the brush? And you're lifting up all the decayed matter on top, and you're
smelling it and you're remembering it. Like,
how about it,
sir? You got to get some other hobbies. But what? How
Let me tell you what I know.
Once he said that, I was like, oh, it's fair game. Y'all just smelling anything. Okay, great. I smell what I smell. That's it. I smell what I smell. But that goes to the point of people have different references. Like I've heard people say, oh, this smells like my grandma's basement. I don't know your grandma. Never been to her basement.
Yeah.
Right.
Now, if something smells like a basement, there is a basement smell that I think we all are familiar with. Okay, fine. Like I've said locker room smell. Locker rooms, that is a frame of reference that multiple people can use. But listen, the underbrush on the floor of the Brazilian rainforest, child, that was...
I remember when I was working at a winery, I was in the back, and me and this girl, she was studying for her SOM exam, and we were both opening this white wine, and we were swirling the wine or whatever. And I smelled it, and she was not Black, so I smelled it, and I was like, you know what this smell like? And I was like, never mind. Then I was like, no, really, no, you know what this smell like? I was like, you ever open a pack of Skittles? That's what this smells like. And she was just like, I get fruity pebbles, but we on the same page. We get you on the same page. So I mean that was and we were friends ever since then. So that was a moment. So yeah, you smell what you smell. Your references are always going to be different.
Yeah. Because it's based on what you're exposed to, like the food you eat.
Right.
Like if all you eat, no shade, because I eat a bunch of processed food. I mean, not no more, but I have in my life. Like if you eat a lot of processed food, like, okay, you probably gonna miss all these fruit smells.
Yeah.
Like that's not gonna come. Yeah. Some of these more exotic fruit smells are gonna be hard for you.
Yeah.
Like
exactly. And to that same point, it's like if you lived in a concrete jungle all your life, you ain't gonna know all these flowers.
That's why flowers were hard for me, because I'm from a concrete jungle.
See?
Same.
And it's no slight. It's just what you've grown up accustomed to.
I'm like, I got you on a rose. Like
I got you on a cut grass. Like. I know what that smells like.
Right. I got the cut grass, and you know how I feel about those. So there's that. But I'm like, I got you on rose and violet. Some of the other smells I picked up is because of the lotions from Bath and Body Works. So I've been able to work that out.
Go.
That is legit why I noticed why I can get honeysuckle and jasmine.
They used to have a pear lotion.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. They did. Yeah, they did.
Mm-hmm. And I can recognize that smell anytime now. Like that's
I love their honeysuckle lotion. That stuff smells so good.
I remember that
but
one.
They only bring that back when they're like, oh, we're bringing back some of our discontinued. I'm like, but you continue to sell out of this when you bring it back. So why don't you just leave it?
Oh, it was called Pearberry. That was it. Yep.
Pearberry is one that they bring back when they do the bringing the discontinuing stuff.
Yeah.
They stayed discontinuing stuff that was like the best.
Yeah.
But anyway,
Tanisha, so
anyway.
so when he said, I'm just curious, what was the rest of the class's reaction? Where some people saying, yeah.
It's always one or two that's gonna agree and be like, and I'm like, y'all haven't even left the zip code. Stop playing. And I'm looking around, and I think I was like, who's been to Brazil? Y'all been to Brazil? The forest? Okay.
Right.
Yes. Congratulations. Job well done. One thing I do want to go back, I know we got a little off the champagne part, but going back to champagne, you were talking about the dryness levels and stuff like that and what they are. Most of the time, what you see is like brut and then dry and then maybe demi-sec. Brut is actually drier than dry. I don't think people know that. And people be like, people grab a brut and don't like it, but brut has significantly less sugar than dry. So if you want something that is actually a little bit sweeter, you would be better off getting a dry instead of a brut.
And anytime you see nature or nature, that's bone dry.
Yes.
Bone dry. And I love them.
Love it.
Me too.
Love
Me
it.
too.
But they're harder to find.
They are.
You really have to look for those. But
I had one for my birthday, and I was like, and I had a couple friends buy, a little clandestine situation. Anyway, and I was pouring it, and then one of my friends, I was like, I know you're not gonna like it. She said, no, I want some. I was like, listen, I will pour you something else. You're not wasting my good brut nature champagne.
Mm-hmm.
No, it's fine. So I poured her a little. She's like, give me some more. I said, that's all you get. Because you just know certain people not about to drink, and I'm like, you're not gonna throw this out in my face, and I know I love it, and I can't watch you pour this out when I could be drinking it. Not being selfish, I just know you're not going. So, the rest of us talking, blah blah blah. I look at her glass, still got the champagne. I said, "Is there a problem?" She's like, "No." And I was like, "Give me your." And I was like, "You don't like it, do you?" She said, "No." I was like, "So," she's like, "You did. You told me, girl. You told me." She laughing. I'm like, since it was only a couple drops that I put in there, I wasn't mad. But had I given her half a glass or filled it?
Wait, I got a question for you. Weren't you with some friends? I hate to put your friend out there. Weren't you with some friends that didn't like Chardonnay? Or didn't like Chablis or something?
Yes.
Oh my gosh.
That whole sentence was in the past tense because these people aren't my friends anymore. I don't need that kind of negativity in my life.
Who the hell? Oh, I love Chablis. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I do too.
Oh. So what
sometimes people jump on a bandwagon and feel like that's a cool thing to say. I don't like Chardonnay. I'm like, are people still saying that now? That's stupid.
When they say it generally like that I don't think they realize they're talking about the grape and not the style of production that particular grape is made in.
Mm-hmm.
And then that comes with some education. For me, I like Chablis and stainless steel fermented Chardonnay varietals because I'm the over oaked and over buttery taste of some Chardonnays just don't sit well with me. I mean, I could go get a box of popcorn and put all that fake oil on. But again, that comes with education and comes with trying the different and learning the difference between Chablis style Chardonnays and the California style Chardonnays, for instance, unless they are making it, stainless steel fermented versus, fermentation in oak. So that's what I see. Sorry.
I agree with you. I agree.
Yes. So what is that? What is everybody drinking? Or did Sarita do that before I got?
No, I was waiting on you. What's everybody drinking?
Well, I decided to go ahead and open that sea smoke we received from
Me too.
You opened a sea smoke? I didn't open that one.
Yes.
I'm curious.
Tell me more about the wines y'all have that I don't have. What's this one like?
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Show the bottle, Leslie. You have it with you?
I have it.
Oh yeah, look at that.
Oh, well, isn't that lovely?
I'm sorry, Tanisha. Guys, they can't ship our samples to Tanisha in France. So
Right.
we got to
It
take one
is-
for the team for her.
It's
Yep.
a 2015.
100% Pinot Noir
Oh.
from the Santa Rita Hills appellation. It's very, 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 very good. They did no dosage on this.
Okay.
My.
Yes.
Can I see your glass, Leslie?
Yeah, because I was about to say, look how deep it is in color.
Wow.
You know what? Because you got a yellow background, you really can't.
Oh, hold on. Let me get something white. I'm gonna show you. But it really is.
It's beautiful.
Everybody say, hold it up in front of your t-shirt. Ain't your t-shirt?
Oh yeah, she got on a white shirt.
Oh yeah. Okay, forgot about that. Thank you, Tanisha.
Put it on your chest, Leslie.
It can hold it.
Oh, that's really pretty.
Isn't that pretty?
Beautiful. It's beautiful. And like we were saying earlier, it's made in the method champenoise style. Barrel aged in 12 months. This is just a phenomenal. And exclusively oak neutral barrels too. French oak, excuse me. Delicious.
It's got a nice tartness to it.
It does. It's beautiful.
After being in bottle for, harvested in 2015. That's some good time.
For a sparkling, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's holding its own for sure.
It definitely is.
I was laughing because some of the wine notes say it tastes like lily. And we just talked about I never tasted lily. Because it goes to experience. Sabrina laughing like I'm laughing because when I think of lily, I think of peace lily, and then it's back to the funerals. So I'm not going around sniffing them. They're sitting at the bottom of these caskets. No, I'm not smoking them.
Definitely don't know what a lily smells like. For sure.
Right. It's a different recall for us. I mean, so we just proving our own points.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I am drinking Decoy.
Oh yeah.
So
you know about the Decoy.
Yeah.
How is that?
Cuvée. It is so good. It's really good.
Is it really?
Look how she's holding the bottle, y'all.
Like it's her firstborn.
Exactly. She is caressing it.
So it has a really pretty color. It's almost tangerine. You see like this orange notes or like pale. So this is 49% Pinot Noir, 47% Chardonnay, and 4% Pinot Meunier. And it's really nice. Baked. Well, these notes have actual foods on them. So
nice.
It says baked apple, white peaches, orange zest, and hints of honeysuckle and vanilla on the palate.
Wow.
It's a solid wine. It's very good. It's $25 on the website. It's well done. Made in champagne style. Yeah, well done.
Decoy and Duckhorn, they just do I haven't gone wrong with anything that they put out. So
I've tasted their reds, but I hadn't tasted a sparkling from Decoy or Duckhorn. So this is very good.
Ooh. No, I've never tasted a sparkling. I don't even know if Duckhorn makes a sparkling. And I've been, when I was at their winery, I didn't see that because I would have gravitated to it very quickly. But I've tasted most of their reds and whites. So I can't wait to get into that. Yeah, I'm glad you gave it a thumbs up.
Yeah.
Well, it's interesting. I have a natural bias for large producing wineries, vineyards, or what have you. And that it will, it'll just taste okay, because it's just like mass. But it's good to hear at Decoy that it is special. It is.
I used to think the same thing until I went to Chateau Saint Michel.
Yeah,
and
I love them too.
Beautiful. It's like a castle when you drive up. That crap that you get at Fridays from Chateau Saint Michel is not what you taste when you actually go to the winery.
And that's
I think they make that, make that mass produced stuff to make money, across the country. But a lot of times they have a lot better stuff, a lot better wine at the winery.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's good to hear because I could say something totally opposite for this other well-known wine brand that we slightly mentioned earlier. And man, I was so mad going to that damn winery. We wasting our time. But anyway, even their reserves were horrible. But
oh man.
yeah, so that's very good to hear. Very good to hear. Because I actually I like some of Chateau Saint Michel's wine. So especially if it's the only thing on the menu, or you go into a random wine shop or store, rather, not shop, because you're hanging out with friends and they're like, oh, let's just stop here and grab something. You're just standing there in front of the shelf like, okay.
Yeah.
Right. Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
yeah. And you know, I used to feel some type of way about buying American bubbles for these prices, because a lot of times the American bubbles cost just as much as champagne does.
Oh yeah. Oh.
And like everybody in the industry knows it's expensive to make sparkling wine.
Right.
It's very expensive. So I get it now. So I don't mind paying it now. So I totally get it. What are some of y'all other favorite California wineries that make sparkling wines? I got a few to choose from if you can't remember any.
I would say what's her name? Jay?
Jay. Oh,
Jay's great.
One of my favorites.
Yeah, Jay.
Jay is a definitely go-to. When we're talking about making mimosas, I would definitely go with Chandon.
Chandon. I've been to Chandon. It's nice.
It's a beautiful property.
Yeah.
It is. It's a beautiful property. I would go with Chandon. What other? But it's just one of the interesting. I'm getting ready to say I would. If I'm just going to the wine store, I'm going to pick up a Cremant because of the value.
I mean, you can't argue. You can't argue with that.
You can't.
You cannot argue with that. I like Gloria Ferrer.
Oh, Gloria Ferrer.
Oh, yes.
Gloria Ferrer is good. And they even have Gloria at Trader Joe's, which surprises me.
Yeah, definitely Gloria Ferrer. Yeah, I forgot.
And also, I like Schramsberg.
Schramsberg,
yeah, they're good.
Now that I can get behind.
Yeah,
I'm sorry, I'm trying my back in because all the other stuff I don't know what y'all talking about.
Schramsberg, yes, is definitely a decent one.
Have you noticed more, especially not just the California sparklings, but a lot of the California wines are now putting on their label that they're biodynamic,
right?
That they're utilizing that farming method.
Really?
Okay. You're starting to see that.
That can mean so many things, right?
Right.
It can. Yes. That's a whole nother episode.
Yeah, it certainly is. We haven't talked about that in a long time either.
I have so many things to say.
biodynamic and like organic wines and stuff.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Right.
But it's you know, you don't see organic as much, but you do see biodynamic.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Tanisha, what about you? You like any other California producer other than Schramsberg for bubbles?
No, because you know I know. I never drank a bunch of California wine.
So judgy.
No, not even judgy. I just never drank it. Like when I first got into wine, I worked with French wine and then did, you know, some other work with other wines in Europe, but just never drank a bunch of California wine. I would drink Virginia or Maryland wine before I grabbed a bottle of wine from California.
Got you. Understood.
Canaris too. Canaris.
Oh, Canaris is good. Yeah. Yeah, it is. And Iron Horse actually makes good bubbles too.
Oh, do they?
They do. Mm-hmm. I've had one. Yeah.
I can see the label. I've just never had it. Like, visualize the label.
Yeah. Any other thoughts on California bubbles before we finish up with our little game here?
Nope. Drink the French ones.
Oh, you know another one that makes very good sparkling?
What's that?
Mum.
Oh, Mum. Yeah. I'm hit or miss with Mum. Because Mum, sometimes their labels don't describe what the actual bubble is. So I picked up a really sweet bottle and not known it. But yeah, they're consistent though. Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Sorry.
All right. So,
well, listeners, you got some good ideas there.
Yeah, you too.
Run out and go buy. Drink California.
Drink California wine. That didn't even sound authentic coming from you.
It didn't? Okay, I'm gonna try it again. Drink California wine.
Oh, now that's going worse. You're going down the rabbit hole.
Hey guys, what you drinking? Drink California. Is that better?
Stop. No.
Stop.
No.
Right.
Yeah. Okay. So we're gonna play this or that daytime TV.
That. Oh, sorry. We hadn't started. Sorry.
First one. The Today Show or Good Morning America?
Good Morning America.
Today Show.
Today Show.
Today Show.
I'm not watching either.
Okay. That's fair. All My Children or One Life to Live?
Neither.
All My Children.
Young and the Restless.
Ah, yeah, I forgot. And Tanisha told me to pick one from another network.
Since both of those were on the
Yes.
same network, I'm like,
Yeah.
maybe one from another network. I mean, I
Okay.
still would have picked All My Children because
All My
that was
Children.
my network. All My
Yeah.
Children,
Yeah.
One Life to Live, in General Hospital.
Yes.
That was
Yeah.
fine.
And you remember
Yeah.
Loving?
I'm
used to be on-
a CBS girl. Young and the Restless.
Yeah. Nope, I was ABC.
Gotcha. Okay. The View, The Real, or The Talk?
You.
The
Ooh.
original View.
You can't compare,
They're
Yeah,
they're all talk shows with groups of women.
but they're
Yeah.
just. I mean, it's different. Like
The age
View-
different.
Yeah.
Yes.
The View will get into
Yeah.
your tail,
Yeah.
but the Real, it's just the Real is just
Pop and circumstance to me.
yeah. They might have a guest. Some days they don't. Some days they don't have a guest.
Wait, I don't even know since Tamara left, who is even on there?
Garcelle.
Garcelle
Oh.
Bouyer.
Ooh, and she had a
And she does good.
Does she do
really-
good?
I was surprised.
Okay.
She fits in perfectly.
Huh,
And what's going on with the talk since they fired Sharon?
Oh, true. Has it been back on yet? Nobody
I don't
She's
know.
been problematic. I don't know why they just now
Yeah.
coming to that.
And she refuses
about
to be called a racist, quote
Oh,
girl,
unquote.
Oh, child.
That's what she said. I refuse.
And don't you start crying. Once she said that, I want to jump through the screen.
Ye protest too much.
Girl. When she told that one, don't you dare cry. Man, what?
First of all, who you talking to?
First
Exactly.
But she would have been wrong if she would have said that, right?
That's
You'd have been
privilege.
angry.
That's why
That's
she ain't say
privilege.
nothing.
I wish the hell she would say something like that to me. That would be the best show they had.
And I'm like, this is a brand new Cheryl Underwood. I'm like, you definitely not the one that used to do stand-up, because the one that used to
How
do stand-up
about
and hold her purse while she did the whole set. I'm like, she would have smacked
Girl,
her.
she got money to make. She know how to hold her tongue.
That's exactly right. Because she got to get them weaves, honey. She can't do that on cheap salary.
Child.
Well,
That kind of weave, anyway.
Mm.
Well, maybe she
well, I
could.
mean, Tyler Perry do it, so she could do it.
Oh.
Leave Tyler Perry alone. He took everybody's comment. He said he gonna work on that.
Okay.
No, he not. But okay.
Well, only time will tell. We have to see his next couple movies.
Okay. The Price is Right or Wheel of Fortune?
Oh God. They both are good. I'm gonna have to go with Wheel of Fortune.
Yeah, big money.
Same.
Big money, big money. Exactly.
Wheel of Fortune, you could kind of play along a little better. The Price is Right is just like, you guessing. I don't know how much that stuff costs.
Right.
A can of tomato soup, a car, a vacation to the Maldives. I don't know. What's the fourth number of the price? I literally have no idea.
Right. These cars, and you have to get the car. This is how much the car costs. So figure it out. No.
Right. It's like, is this the fifth number or the second number of the price? I like to buy loud. Like, I don't know what.
Okay. Jerry or Maury?
Jerry, because I'm from Chicago.
I'm gonna go with Maury. Jerry's shit was just too ratchet. That show was just too ratchet. Oh, good God.
I mean, they both bad, but
They both bad. I agree. I'm not watching either or.
And I know people who've been on both.
you are lying
really?
to me. Wait, you got to tell us
Hold
the topics, honey.
Yes.
What was the title?
my-
Who was the daddy? Who was
My neighbor growing up was on Jerry, because again, Chicago. And then Maury, this was before he was doing the baby daddy ones.
Okay.
A girl I went to university with was on there.
But why were they on there?
I forget why. I just remember how much talk it was about her being on there.
Okay.
My neighbor was on there.
You ain't trying to tell us while we're recording. Oh, wait. Your neighbor was fighting on there.
Oh, of course. It was Jerry. Like, you don't go on there if you're not fighting.
Right. That's why I'm like,
how do you prep for that? Like,
I don't know, do some stretches. I literally
you guys sewing your wig extra tight.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You tighten up the weave.
Well, you know, wigs and weaves wasn't like, you know, the hottest thing back then. They was like braids. You know, this when Jerry was hot, this was a minute ago.
Yeah, so true.
People weren't messing with weaves that tough. It was braids if you wanted long hair.
Oh, goodness.
I also just dated myself, so that's fine.
I mean, that is interesting.
Yeah. I always felt bad for the women who were on there multiple times, and then he was like, "Nope, not the daddy."
I didn't, because it's like, you know, feel bad for like, what are you doing?
Exactly.
Like, you keep coming back.
They put they put themselves in that position.
Right.
Exactly. Nasty. Can you at least wait in between periods to have another one? Shit. Nasty as hell. I don't feel sorry.
And then you accusing one dude that he a deadbeat daddy, and he not even a daddy. Come on, I can't feel bad for that. No.
Right. So let's take a drink on that. Okay.
I mean,
okay.
Yes, indeed. Next one. This is probably going to be an easy one. Ellen or Oprah?
Oprah.
Again, Chicago, but then also Oprah's just better. I mean,
Oprah. They do have a different style.
They have a different style. I think
Ellen has been known to be problematic. So there's that.
Yeah. So is Oprah, but that's a different issue.
Oprah all day. All right. So I don't even know if you watch y'all watch judge shows.
I do.
Judge
I don't know the ones you mentioned. I never heard of those. I'm like, I know Divorce Court.
Bench. Those are the ones that are on now that have somebody black on there. That's why.
I don't know those. I'm like, I know Divorce Court, Joe Brown, Judge Mathis. That's
they not even on TV anymore.
Yeah, those aren't on anymore.
I've been watching Lauren Lake.
Wait, do I know?
Who's Lauren Lake?
She's the new Maury. Who's the daddy?
Are you serious?
Oh,
Lauren Lake. She's black. And
she a lawyer?
No, she's a judge.
Then nobody had to pick up that baton. She don't realize that. Nobody has to do that.
But let me tell you, but she is actually doing counseling. She brings them in and she does some mental counseling, some marriage counseling. So and then when she get hot, she be like, hold up, look at here. Y'all done made me piss me off in here. Just stop. Oh, she gets in their ass.
So she's got a whole paternity court. Now I've got to watch this.
And girl, she good. She good. It's good. Paternity court.
Oh, Glennis, were you the one that posted on Facebook? The Proud Boy that was on Divorce Court, married to the black woman
with the baby. Yep.
Yes.
What happened? Why were they? Divorce Court. Duh.
But the Proud Boy, one of the co-founders of the Proud Boy.
Wow.
He knew that before he got to that point. So I don't even
had a black wife and a baby. He's like, okay, little girl, what's up with this? You just had a fever for the flavor of a Pringle and a barbecue Pringle, and you forgot everything, or you just like that out there amongst the guys? What y'all come home and talk about? And what do you say to that child?
Yeah.
Right.
What did you say to the wife when you got home and your picture is everywhere?
Exactly.
How you explain that?
I wouldn't have been there for him to explain it to. So, I mean, there wouldn't have been no conversation.
But you know
he come home dangling hangers, honey.
Listen, hangers just swinging, okay? Because there's nothing on them. I'm out.
But see, there's one of those pictures. She didn't care. There's one of the pictures he's in his hood and she with him. I was like,
oh no.
I'm gonna tell you what, I'd have lit his ass on fire.
Wow. Oh my goodness.
But the thing is, none of us would have gotten to that point to be with him. Like that's like.
And then there's that.
Right.
Like we would have never made it that far. We'd be like, wait a minute, something ain't right.
Something's not right. Because Oh, because what I would really like to know and ask that young lady. So do you go with him to his meetings like the other women go? Man, what?
Like the sweethearts.
Right. When they go out with their wives and stuff.
Right.
Well, ladies, that is our show.
Where are your children?
I'm like, it's 12. I'm like, it's 12.
Thanks for joining the Swirl Suite today, guys. We hope you enjoyed this episode. Don't forget to check out our California sparklers that we tried, Sea Smoke and Decoy. Let us know what you think. And also reach out on Instagram, leave a comment, send an email. Let us know what you think of the show. Cheers.